Hey you guys, my name is Maddie, and this week on Two Worlds is 5 Funniest Moments Week. So I'm going to tell you 5 of the funniest things that have ever happened to me or things that I've done in no particular order because I couldn't really place them as to which was the funniest. So the first story is about me and two of my friends, Haley and Tommy. Last year we went bowling together. Tommy had a broken right arm and he's right-handed. So the whole time me and Haley were like, "Oh, are you going to be okay? Should we get one of those ramps? If you need help, do you need bumpers?" All that kind of stuff. And then he comes out, starts bowling with his broken arm, his right hand, and beats us both by like 50 points. And we were like, oh my god, what is happening? It was actually so funny. We were like, this is not even fair. So the next story was me, my sister, and my mom. We were sitting at the dinner table, and I was telling them some story I had heard about the Netherlands, whether it was like a weird law they had or something about like their leader or something. Anyway, so I was like, so in the Netherlands, and then my sister was like, oh, isn't that where Peter Pan is from? And my mom was like, oh my god, yeah. And so they go off about like how Peter Pan is from the Netherlands. And I was like, you guys, that's the Neverland. And so then we were all like dying, and they made me promise not to tell anyone that, and yet I still told like everyone. So the next story happened about 2 years ago on Halloween. I was walking around the neighborhood with two of my friends, and like it was like past dark, and we have a pretty young neighborhood, so like everyone was already sleeping, all the lights were off. So we were like, okay, we're just gonna take the shortcut home. So we're walking back to my house, and we pass all these houses with these like black lights. There's no lights on, there's nothing outside, so we're like, okay, we'll just go home. All of a sudden, this guy starts running down the street after us, dressed all in black in like a big cloak, and he's like waving his arms around, and he's like, oh, you forgot your candy, and like screaming at us. And so we were like, oh my god, who is this guy? What's happening? And all of a sudden, he just like disappeared, and like we were like, okay, so we like started to go back, and we were like, okay, we'll get our candy and then we'll just leave. And then so we get up to the like porch thing. There's no one there, and so we're all like holding hands, and we're like, he's gonna jump out, he's gonna scare us, he's gonna scare us. So we get up and we grab our candy, and we're like, oh, he's not gonna scare us. And then he jumps up from under his porch with like this big like fake sword thing and starts waving it around, and we were all like, oh my god, and started like screaming and freaking out. And then like he was like, oh, that's funny, okay, grab your candy and leave. So we started to leave, and then all of a sudden he like ducked down again and then stood back up and stabbed me in the back with this like plastic sword thing. So we were like freaking out. We turned and just like ran away as fast as we could and like didn't look back. It was so scary because we were only like 11 at the time, and we were just like, oh my god, he cannot do this to us. The next story also has to do with getting scared. Every year my whole family goes to the state fair because it's a pretty big deal where I'm from. So we all go to the state fair together and we do all these things. And every single year we pass this haunted house, and we're like, oh, that would be fun to go in, but like probably not because we probably wouldn't be able to handle it. So then last year we were like, let's just do it, let's try it, it'll be a lot of fun. So it was me, Parisa's twin sister Jasmine, her little sister Ella, and my sister Sammy. So 4 teenage girls, and like a 9-year-old. So we're going, and we like get in, and we're like, okay, there's like this short hallway, and then it takes like a really sudden right, and we were like, okay, well, we're not gonna go around the corner because obviously someone's gonna be right there. So we're like standing literally like 3 feet from the entrance, and we were like, we're not going in there, we're gonna stay here, it's not gonna happen. So finally we make the like 8-year-old, 9-year-old go out in front of us. She goes around the corner, and then we all just like walk behind her in a little huddle. And so we go down this hallway, and like it's pretty average, it's not scary, it's just like a bunch of like fake dead people and like strobe lights and stuff like that, until we get around the corner, and then there are these like bars on each side of the wall with like windows, and people are reaching out their arms and grabbing us for like this really cool face paint and stuff. But it was terrifying. So we were like sprinting down the hallway, running as fast as we could, and then we come to this guy leaning over the whole entire hallway like this, stretching out his like pale like white arms, and like they're like yellowy, and he looks like diseased, so we have to go under his arms. So we all just stood there for a couple minutes, and we were like, I'm not going to be the first one to go through this. So finally I duck down, crawl on the floor under him as fast as I could, and then we all just like scream and keep running. By now we're all in this clob, like this close together, all 5 of us, and like not letting go. So we come to this corner, like the steep corner. Right before you go outside, you have to go down the stairs to get back out. And anyway, it's a dark corner, you can see nothing, there are no lights, except for you can only see the people, like, reaching out over and, like, trying to grab you. And I was wearing flip-flops for some reason, so everybody's, like, running, and my shoe falls off, and I was like, okay, well, I have to go back and get it, because otherwise I'll have to go the whole entire day without a shoe. So I get on my hands and knees, I'm crawling around, these people are reaching out on top of me, I finally find my shoe, Then Jasmine comes, pushes me, my shoe flies out of my hand, and just like keeps running. So the people have like stopped reaching out towards me because they realize something's wrong, but they're still going after the people who are coming around the corner. So I'm just like sitting there, like crawling on the floor. Finally find my shoe, put it on, we keep running. And then we're stuck behind this like family who's going really slow down the stairs. And my sister said she heard the people behind us. We're like, we are never getting in behind a group of teenage girls again. So apparently we were like deafening these people with our screams because we were all freaking out. And it was honestly probably the most I've laughed in a long time when we were sitting outside just talking about what happened. Okay, so the last story I have for you happened in a mall with me and 3 of my friends, Davu, Haley, and Willem. So it's like this small mall. There's only 2 levels. And so we were walking around and we were like, oh, let's go up the elevator, because why not? So we get in the elevator, literally going up 1 story. And my friend Willem decides it'd be funny if he pretended to have a panic attack. So he's in the corner, like, crying. Haley's, like, pretending to comfort him. And she's like, oh, my God, sorry. It's his first time in the elevator. I'm sorry. Like, he'll be okay. And, like, comforting him. David and I are sitting in the other corner, laughing, like, as hard as we could. Like, we were dying. Because, like, obviously he's not scared of elevators. But he was, like, freaking out. And there was, like, another family in the elevator. And they just kept, like, looking back at him and felt, like, really uncomfortable. And the second the doors opened, they, like, sprinted out. And then the same day, we decided just to go, like, back down the elevator, and there was a cleaning lady in there. So she, like, came up and she was like, hola. And so Davu and I were like, oh, hola, ¿cómo estás? Like, that's all we knew of Spanish. And then all of a sudden, she just, like, rapid fire as many sentences as she could, just like, boom, boom, boom. And we were just like, oh my God, we don't know that. So then the elevator doors opened, and we just, like, ran out, and it was really awkward. And then later that day, we went into the Sears that was attached to the mall. So we were in there, and we were, like, reading The Outsiders at that point in English. So we were like, oh, Haley, you should go and get someone to say the name Ponyboy on the speakers and, like, call for your brother Ponyboy just to see what would happen. And there was, like, a couple other names, too. I don't remember what they are. I think it was, like, August or something like that, like, just something stupid. So Haley was like, okay, I'll do it. So we all went. It was Willem, Davu, and I. We went into, like, the back, and we were just, like, hanging out. Davu and I were, like, listening to music, and Willem was, like, taking a nap in the middle of the floor just because there's no one there. So Haley is gone for, like, 15 minutes. It finally calls us, and she's like, oh, my God, you need to come up front right now. So we, like, all run up front, and we're like, oh, my God, what's wrong? So she tells us that she had asked the woman, she was like, I lost my brother. His name is Ponyboy. Can you call him over the thing? And the woman was like, oh, just go wait there. He'll come. And she was like, no, but he doesn't know to come. And she was like, well, why don't you just call him? And Haley was like, well, he doesn't have a phone. Can you just, like, call over the speaker? So then the lady apparently was, like, really rude. It was just like, no, I'm not going to call over the speakers. You have to figure it out. That's, like, a fake name. And she was just, like, really confused and, like, really rude. And so Haley, like, freaked out and all of a sudden just, like, ran away. And she was like, oh, my God, no, I'm not going to do this. So then she called us. And we actually laughed about that for so long. And now she's, like, scared of Sears and refuses to go in there. So every time we, like, pass the Sears, I just, like, laugh out loud and think of Haley. And it's actually so funny. So that's my video. I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you guys liked it. If you did, leave a comment in the comments section telling me one of your funniest stories. Priest and I also wanted to let you guys know that we're currently making this, like, short horror film type thing. We're just finished writing it. So that'll be out sometime in the next month, hopefully. Maybe a little bit after that, but we'll let you know when it's coming out. So if you like this video, please comment, like, or even subscribe. Parisa will see you on Friday, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye, guys.